Yo, what's up, you guys? It's your boy Silent Rain here. Today I'm going to be doing a tier list for this patch, this recent patch that just happened. So, if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe and give that notification bell on. And let's get on with it. I'm not going to waste you guys' time. Let's just get on with it. So, starting off with Venusaur. The recent changes with the Solar Beam, especially the Sludge Bomb. I think the Sludge Bomb is like the big one, the big slow. It definitely helps him out in lane. But when it comes to just overall team presence, I just don't think he just has the presence yet. I think Solar Beam is really good, and I think Sludge Bomb is great, but his early game still is bad because you don't have Sludge Bomb, and you don't have Solar Beam. So if you get ganked and bullied, it's still gonna be tough for you as Bulbasaur. You do have early game damage, but there's a character, a different character that does almost the same early damage as you, but is a little more consistent and better. And I'll just go to that character as Cramorant. Cramorant, I think right now is in a pretty decent spot, honestly. I thought the nerf to Whirlpool was going to be huge and possibly put him back in the B tier. But the more I think about it, I think he's actually really good right now. I think the range on his, just the range in general, he still has really good early game presence, and it's not like he doesn't have a presence in the battlefield during like Dreadnought fights. Because if he has ultimate early and the first Dreadnought spawns, he's gonna ult that Dreadnought, and he's gonna control that entire Dreadnought, that first Dreadnought, and he can basically carry the team from there. I literally had a game where somehow my enemy Cramorant got level 9, but I wasn't in the lane that he was in, and he just got level 9, ulted the first Dreadnought, and then we just couldn't come back from that. And I thought that was really strong. I don't know how he got fed though, but overall I think Cramorant's still fine. But there are a lot of characters that I have in A tier right now, so he's not the best A tier pick. Gengar doesn't work right now. I think that bug has a... I'm not going to give my predictions on Gengar when he has a bug right now with Hex. So I'm going to leave him in the has a bug tier for now. Mr. Mime, I think right now what we're seeing is a lot more Snorlax. I think Slowbro has slowly moved aside for someone else, which I'm going to talk about later. I think right now Snorlax is the go-to, and Mr. Mime does really well with Snorlax, because basically what happens is that Snorlax walls, and then Mr. Mime puts another wall, like where Snorlax is pushing the enemy team, and then they can't move. They're stuck. And it's broken. It's one of the most broken things you can do with this team. Snorlax, Mr. Mime. And since I think they have good synergy, and Eldegoss is not like that prominent, I think Mr. Mime is in A tier right now. His early game's good, great crazy damage, great support, hard to kill. Overall, just a great character. Speaking of Snorlax, A tier. I mean S tier. I mean, what do you expect? It's Snorlax. That block ability is too good. And for some reason, I still see Snorlax go for Yawn. Yawn is good, but like block just does so much more. Like, it's just crazy how good that move is. CC for like 5 seconds, which is not okay. It's not okay for any sort of MOBA to be CC for 5 seconds on a wall. I think if you have some sort of movement ability, you should be able to get out of it. Like as Greninja, I will try to like go the direction that the block is not towards, but it will still hit me because of the hitbox on that block. It's just too good. God of War, I think she's B tier right now. Her early game is really bad, and she can easily get like bullied. But the difference between her and Venusaur is that she really has a presence in the late game. She has one of the craziest damages in the late game, and I think that's what puts her over Venusaur. Like that's my only reasoning. You can still make Venusaur work. I don't think Venusaur is bad. Like I don't think there's a D tier right now. Back then there were D tiers like Charizard and Venusaur, but I think right now there's no D tiers, but there's still C tiers. Absol, I haven't really seen a lot of Absol, but I know he does more damage, but I don't know if anyone's using that set. So I'm just gonna put Absol on B tier right now. I think he's good. He has great early game presence. He kind of falls off a cliff, and the problem is Zapdos is just too good. So I think Absol. You know what? CT is looking better for you, Absol. Sorry. There's way better picks, and late game is really important right now. Late game's super important, and if you just drop off a cliff late game as a jungler, like that's just not good. Because most junglers, the good ones, get really good late game, and that's what the meta is right now. So I just don't think he's great right now because of how bad he is late game. Garchomp, you know, he didn't get changed at all, but the problem with him is that he just gets spaced out, can't farm in lane. I think in jungle he's decently good. He will get to level 11 at a decent time, but that first Dreadnought fight, he won't be there, or like he won't be an asset. You know what I mean? He won't be Garchomp, and that's a problem because he's not that great as Gabite or Gibble. I think for that, I'm gonna put him in C tier because that first Dreadnought fight is really important because that just really helps your team like level up. It's just huge. Lucario, still S tier. He's just so good in lane. The power up punch bug fix, which basically nerfed his damage, still doesn't matter. He still controls lane. He's still hard to kill. That's all I'm gonna say. Crustle, I think is still good. You could make him work in a solo queue environment. He has the damage. He has the mobility to solo carry games and make scores. But like if you're playing like if you're trying to make a team, you're trying to make like a more of a comp that works really well together, you wouldn't choose Crustle. There's not a comp yet where Crustle really shines. You know what I mean? Like there's not enough, I believe, there's not that support that brings to the table to help mobility champions greater. This is my high speculation. I think Blissey will be really good with Crustle, Greninja, all the high mobility champions, because she can basically, you know, buff them to survive and do a lot of damage. So I think right now there's not a comp that's really good with Crustle, but I think when there is a comp that's really good with Crustle, then we'll start seeing Crustle a lot more in good tiers, in a good tier or in good comps, and we'll see how he stacks. Greninja right now, I think he's in the top of B tier. I don't think he's A tier. I just don't think so. I think there's still other characters that outshine him. Like for example, I'll already put Cinderace in A tier. I think he's in the top of A tier actually. Like I still think Greninja is good. I definitely think he's one of the best in B tier right now. But just overall, there's just other characters that do his job just a little bit easier. You can still make him work and definitely carry games, that's for sure, with like, you know, with you like outplaying people, for sure. But there are certain team comps that become really hard for Greninja to deal with. Like I find it hard for me to deal with Snorlax, Cramorant, Mr. Mime, and Cinderace, and Wigglytuff. Like, if I were to fight that comp, that's really hard for me to do anything, basically. So then you're kind of forced to take Water Shuriken because you want to, like, poke them out. Because you do have a really strong poking game. But again, it's just really hard, especially with a lot of CC. And now that this character is prominent, it's becoming a lot harder for me for aggressive plays as Greninja. So I think he's in top of B tier, and the reason why he's on A tier is because of this character. This character is kind of stupid. I'm not gonna lie. This character does a lot. Is tanky against attackers. I don't know why she's tanky against attackers. That's kind of crazy. And like it's literally so hard for Greninja, Lucario, for those high mobility, get in your face champions to try and do anything against the squishies, because if Wigglytuff sees that you try and get into the back line, Wigglytuff just hits Sing and she just says, "Get over here, look at me," and go to sleep, and then like you die. It's just really hard right now. This character is insane. Actually, dude, the more I look at Cinderace, I think he's still top 5. I'm still like thinking about it. I think he's still top 5. I don't think the nerfs were that big. If he works with his team and just spams away his attack range, he still does insane damage. He can't just 1v1 people anymore. He can't do that. But he's still a great asset to the team. This is like a team environment. Talonflame, I think is, I almost want to say A tier, but it's looking really good S tier right now. But I think I'm gonna put him in the top of 8 right now. I think there's just a few more characters that are just better than him, and I'll get to those characters really soon. Charizard, he does have better clear with like jungle camps because of flame. I've been testing out some flamethrower and fire punch comp games, and I find it really easy to steal camps with flamethrower now. I don't know why. It's just really easy to steal it, and then you just fire punch and you omega steal their camps in lane. But like that's your only option if you want to try and get that CS, is you gotta start going for a flamethrower. If you want to like start having like be able to steal some of that CS, because you can't just fire punch. You can't use flare blitz and fire punch as your comp if you're trying to get CS. It's, or you know, get the wild Pokemon. It's just hard. If I'm referring to CS, that's like me talking about the raw Pokemon you're trying to get in order to level up. In case you guys didn't know what that meant. So it's a lot easier for him to get CS, but he still kind of struggles in lane. But compared to Garchomp, he gets a Charizard way early, and I feel like his ultimate just has a lot more impact. And his ultimate, you get his ultimate a lot of the time, which I think you should use like Unite Charger, that one item that charges your Unite faster. I think that's going to be really good on Charizard, honestly, because it also helps out with cooldown reduction. And you'll be able to like spam flamethrower a lot and really harass people from a distance. And then when you feel like you can go in, then you use fire punch and go in. You just don't want to overcommit with like, you know, flare blitz or fire punch. You know, you just don't. And your auto attack, it doesn't have the biggest range, so it's best to go for flamethrower in my opinion. Zeraora, I think it's still really good. I feel like maybe he could be top 5, but there's a few characters I want to talk about in a little bit. I'll get back to Zeraora. Eldegoss, I think is still good. I don't think she's number 2 anymore. I think she's in top 5. There's one more character that I think still works really well that is above her, but Eldegoss still brings a lot to the table with the shields. There's less healing, and the Unite move does less, which is good because she was just insane. But she still brings so much to the table for the team. It's still ridiculous how good she still is, honestly, the more I think about it. And then we move on to Pikachu. Pikachu, I'm not sure about this character right now. He's great early game, but just looking at the characters he has to go up against. An early game Crustle is kind of hard to deal with. And Crustle's, I mean not Crustle, Cramorant. And Cramorant is still useful late game. Pikachu falls off a cliff late game, unless he gets fed. But Pikachu's not really looking for kills. He's looking to slow people down. And his Unite move is good, but you still gotta put yourself in danger when doing it. And Pikachu's stats are just not that great. Like in terms of defenses, he just explodes. And with so much CC in the game, and Cinderace outranging him, and the things like Talonflame and Zeraora, and he has no mobility option, it's just kind of tough. It's really tough for Pikachu right now. I think Pikachu's slowly dropping right now. I don't think Pikachu's the worst, but he's starting to get worse over time. I would just rather have some of these other characters that are just better. I should wait. Okay, let me think about this. I did rate Pikachu highly, honestly. I did. Well, honestly, I'm kind of like, I think he's better than Greninja. No. But in lane, he's good. In lane, he's decent against Cramorant. Okay, you can't kill this can't kill this thing. Yeah, that's decent. That's decent, but I think Pikachu's right there. Because if Charizard is in lane with Pikachu, Pikachu pretty much doesn't allow Charizard to farm unless he's jungling. Charizard's still good. I think I'm gonna leave Pikachu right there. Ninetales, top 5. I think she is almost top 3. Because there's so much CC in the game. Right now this is CC Pokemon Unite, the CC game, crowd control. See all these characters like Snorlax, Lucario, Wigglytuff, Ninetales, Cinderace. He has Blaze Kick. Eldegoss isn't crowd control, but she just helps people like live. And I think that's what's strong right now is crowd control. And you would think Slowbro is good because he has a lot of crowd control, but he's only good against assassins, that people who want to get into the back line. And I would say if you were able to see their team comp and see that they have like 3 assassins, then yes, I would probably choose Slowbro. But since right now it's blind pick in ranked, and that kind of sucks because in league you can kind of see which character they're choosing each time. Like which I think it ranked being like just a blind pick is really bad because like you can't figure out a game plan or what comp you're gonna be going up against. You just have to like choose what is really good, what is meta, or choose like your best character sometimes. You can't like just be like, okay, they have Lucario, they have a bunch of melee champions, we're gonna go all range, you know? Like it's just hard right now for Slowbro, and I think Wigglytuff is just way better. I think Wigglytuff's way better right now than Slowbro. I think if you want to stop assassins, you just go Wigglytuff. Just straight up, just go Wigglytuff. It's just way easier. And then lastly, Machamp. Cross Chop wasn't super detrimental to his game, but his ultimate's still crazy. He has decent lane, but he still gets kind of bullied, so he's just better suited for jungle. Honestly, I'm gonna have to put him here. I think he's suited for here. I think he's better than Cramorant because Cramorant can't escape. Better than Mr. Mime because he can just not care about what he does because of submission. Submission just really wrecks a lot of these characters in lane. Wrecks him. Sort of, not really. Wrecks him. Wrecks her. Wrecks him. Sort of wrecks him, but he can kind of get out. Wrecks him. Wrecks him's in lane. Wrecks. Like, these characters have a way to get out. Fly. Spark. Wigglytuff Sing. Eldegoss just can't die. Cinderace Blaze Kick. CC. Power Up Punch. Block. I think Machamp stays right here because besides submission, he kind of struggles unless he gets that submission. Then he's good, but until then. And so that is my tier list, but I think we're heading into a shift in Pokemon Unite. I think we're starting to see comps, like certain comps. Like I'm seeing more poke comps right now. Like I'm seeing like Cramorant, Ninetales, or Cinderace Ninetales, Snorlax, Wigglytuff, and Eldegoss. Basically, Snorlax and Wigglytuff take all the brunt force. Eldegoss shields them, and then Cramorant, Ninetales, or Ninetales Cinderace just poke at them all day. And if they play that correctly, then there's nothing they can do. I think that's one of the best comps right now. I think like a really good like aggressive team would be like a Lucario, Talonflame, Zeraora, Snorlax, Machamp, or Greninja. Like I think, okay, no. So I think no matter what, you're going to need a Ninetales in every team. She just provides so much utility. Snorlax, Lucario, Talonflame, Machamp, Greninja, or Cinderace. Because Greninja and Cinderace they can both play at range, but they can both also go in. Like compared to Cramorant, who mostly wants to stay at range. He never wants to like be too close. So if you want to play like a more of a like sort of a diving team, you would choose like again Snorlax, Ninetales to help with utility, Talonflame / Zeraora, Lucario / Machamp, Greninja / Cinderace. I think that's the comp right now. I think if you want to be more stationary, there's actually another talks about stationary comps, which is Slowbro, Mr. Mime, Cramorant, Wigglytuff, Eldegoss, and God of War. God of War. But anyways, I'll actually make a video about that actually right now. Alright, well, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.